There's no way to sugarcoat go over it. I mean, we have a lot going on ourselves here in the United States with everything. But today, right now, I want to talk about Ukraine. I want to talk about because the media is not talking about it at all. Nobody's talking about it. Donald Trump has basically took his hands off of it. But Alex, give us an update. What's happening? What's going on? We haven't seen you for how's your weekend going?
How are you, Lev? Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining. Thank you for following. Thank you for supporting. God bless everybody. Well, America had 4th of July, but Ukraine had the real fireworks. I mean, real Star Wars. Ever since that phone call that you and I were on the live when that was happening, and you remember I had to get off because the sirens came on, and over the weekend it hasn't stopped. Every night like a clockwork. Over the weekend, there was probably not probably it was over 1,000 drones launched at Ukraine, over 1,000 missiles, hundreds of people injured. I'll break it down. Uh, there are some deaths as well. On 4th of July, there was over 550 drones launched at Ukraine and over 40 missiles. When I was looking at the window, it was I don't think I even seen this in the Star Wars. It's like you look up in the sky and you see it's like lines, like a red lines going up and large explosions, sometimes far away, sometimes close. On 4th of July, it was like I don't know where it was explosion on the left and then it was explosion on the right. So it was crazy. But the Kiev on 4th of July, the one of the hardest targets was Kiev. I mean, they were trying to hit a lot of civilian buildings, a lot of debris fell. There was over 20 people injured just in Kiev. They didn't put out the fires till like the following. It almost took 24 hours to put out the fires. On but on the 5th of July, it was over 320 drones. The following night, you used to take two, 3, 4 nights before they do it again. And that dozens of missiles, but that attack was mainly towards Kharkiv. Kharkiv was getting hit a lot. It was like over 5 plus people dead, over 50 people injured. It was a lot of injuries in Kharkiv. On the 6th of July, it was 150 drones and missiles. That they had 19 different targets all over Ukraine. So they were spread all over, but the destructions was, of course, in Kiev, Kharkiv, Zaporizhia. They were low, hitting the civilian and infrastructures. And on the seventh and last night, main attack was towards Kharkiv, Odessa, and the suburbs of Kiev. And again, this has become it's not a war as they're trying to destroy something. I read that during the Chechen war, it was the same thing. They were on the outskirts and just pounding and pounding and pounding. Don't forget, like every time the siren goes on, I see cars driving to the metro. People going to the metro with the children, the whole families, and they're already going there to spend there the whole night. And usually siren that doesn't stop until until 8:30, 9 o'clock in the morning. So then people have to come home, figure something out, how to get to work and how to maintain their life. And imagine this happening every night. And it's like nonstop, nonstop, nonstop. So uh, they are pushing the people to give in. And it looks like a lot of it makes sense of what you have been talking about. Even as much as I didn't want to believe you, and as much as I want to prove you wrong, from day one you were saying you and I were arguing about not arguing, but we had our disagreements because I didn't think it was possible. But it looks like we are standing here, and at least thanks God the Europe's with us. And I heard that European leaders are talking to your president, to Trump, and trying to buy protect the people, the Patriot reports and stuff.
He blocked. Yeah, I know Europe is involved right now trying to because he stopped the ones that were already in Poland that were supposed to go over. He blocked them. That was part of what I'm hearing was part of the conversation he had with Putin. I know he had a conversation with Zelensky, and the reports came out supposedly good, but I'm hearing that this is all just conversation. Trump told him that it would be he'd look into it, possibly, maybe, but then he made a stupid comment to something like that he has to look at our own reserves because Biden depleted our reserves. So I wouldn't take it as a positive sign. Remember, for those of you that didn't get a chance to read or don't remember, when Donald Trump left NATO, there was a I wrote in the Substack, and me and Alex spoke about it. That there was a congregation from Russia that flew over and met with at the White House, and part of the plan was now to prolong.
Time as he was flying back, the plane
Right,
already. I looked into that.
right, exactly, same time. Same time, as soon as he left the NATO meeting, and nobody reported, nobody's talking about. Part of the conversation was there, was about what we're talking about here, about delaying, about playing the long game, about now instead of coming out because the first they tried to push Zelensky because remember what they're doing in Middle East is what they tried to do with Zelensky because Trump has full control of Bibi Netanyahu and Putin has full control of Iran and the Ayatollah. That is why this is all being played out right now, because otherwise they're like two pit bulls would want to attack. Trump also promised for Putin that he had the same control over Zelensky, and that's where he made the mistake because he didn't have a and Zelensky slipped through. So he can't pressure him anymore. He can't threaten him anymore because he's already threatened him. He's already cut off aid, and Ukraine is still fighting and fighting strong and even kicking Russia's ass. Excuse me. So the next plan right now is instead of attack him is to cut him off. Play nice, promise, but don't give. Play the game, drag it out. Meanwhile, Russia is not only is Russia attacking, like Alex is saying, but there's also I wrote in my subset for those of you that didn't get a chance to read it. Make sure you go back and read them. They're up there in the history. Is that there's also now well they were always in the game. North Korea was always in the game, but North Korea previously was primarily giving more weapons, just like Iran and North Korea was giving weapons. And now they have pledged 30,000 troops. That's a lot of troops. 30,000 troops from North Korea right now going to join the war with the Russian forces against Ukraine. So just think about it, folks. All of this is happening, and knock on wood, Ukraine is standing strong and fighting it. That's why we need to put pressure right now more than ever on our congressmen and senators to make sure that put pressure and give aid to Ukraine. Somebody said right now is a great question, and it just went by, and I said, so Karen Levitt just said that Witkoff is going to Donetsk. Oh, interesting. I'm going to look into that. I didn't see if Carolyn Levitt said that, but I'm going to look into that. So, what were we? I'm sorry. I just got
Yeah, let me just. You were talking about that they stopped the aid and solo game, but he didn't just stop the weapons at Poland. They didn't stop him. They made the planes reload and turn around. All the expenses that were to deliver him to Poland, they went back. My sources tell me that the aid went back. And just to I have another topic, but I wanna continue on what you said. Ukraine is fighting Russia for its freedom, for its right to live, for its right to exist, for its freedom. The only difference is that Russia fights this war because he wants to, and he can stop anytime he wants to. Ukraine cannot stop. We're ready to stop today. As soon as somebody gives us back what was taken from us by force, we'll stop fighting today. But we don't have that choice. We have to protect ourselves. But if you look at it, Ukraine that just doesn't fight Russia. Ukraine fights weapons from Iran, help from China, weapons from North Korea, and a bunch of other countries that we might not even know about. So we are alone. Of course, not alone. Thanks God, we have Europe next to us. Europe is helping us, but we are not. We are fighting almost like a global war because
Really.
nobody nobody knows how many other countries are helping Russia. Look at this. India, if they buy the oil, they're helping them against us. Anybody that buys the oil, gas, or anything else from them is helping them to fight Ukraine.
That's another thing. Trump just allowed
Right.
Iran to sell oil freely to China. You can't even make this shit up.
I tell you something else. I heard rumors and from sources that usually don't make mistakes. Well, because everything that comes out of that source, it usually also winds up in the news. And the rumor is that interesting. Then from the start of the uh, inauguration, right after the inauguration, there was the campaign launched for Russian side and to slowly bleed out the Ukrainian side. And I'm hearing that, and with this weapon that was stopped. The memo to not send the aid came out over a few months ago, but it just went into effect. And I hear that a lot of it happens because the paperwork, the chain of command, the way it used to all follow, it used to be like this. Now most of the people that uh, expedite all those moves are not there anymore, and the people that are there that sometimes they do, sometimes they don't do, sometimes they do wrong. So that's why it took so long to get to what it was getting. But from for the rumors I'm hearing, it's a campaign by Witkovs and has all the top that they are trying to find a way not to help Ukraine because because most of them, as you spoke about, that most of a lot of people surround him are the assets, are the people that were slowly planted around him by who. So this is mind-boggling, and what they do right now is they almost in 10 different cities, major cities in Ukraine, they are targeting the TSK. TSK is the recruitment centers, and my sources tell me that they even talking about it openly on Russian channels that they are helping people. They getting rid of the recruiting centers because people don't like them, and they are trying to stop mobilization in Ukraine, so people won't get mobilized. But they miscalculated. Even the people that don't want to get mobilized, they're afraid to fight. They are more afraid to be under Russian thumb. They are more afraid to be occupied. They are more afraid not to be free. So this strategy is not going to work. But nevertheless, it's tiring on the Ukrainian people, on everyday life of Ukrainian people, on children. That not to even the animals. When the siren goes, animals run to the bathroom. Every animals already know what the siren means.
That's crazy. That's insane. Just think about it. The dog, the cat, the animals already run when they hear the siren
They
because
follow the head.
that's incredible. Hey, everyone. I just want to say we have around close to 500 people here right now. And I want to, first of all, thank each and every one of you, whoever is subscribing, supporting. I see a lot of your messages going there. There's just a lot of people. I want to say we're going to do a special paid subscriber space later on in the week, and for you to ask all the questions. You could also DM me or Alex for all the paid subscribers. We respond to any of your questions you have. I see one of the big question is how can we help? How can we help? Let me just get that out of the way because there's a couple of important announcements. Alex is trying to do another trip. This time to Kharkiv. He's been going back and forth. We're trying to figure out because of the bombarding every day. It's very dangerous. So he's trying to figure out to get and see exactly what is the best thing we could get him to help. Is it these packages or anything else? So definitely DM me and I'll get back to you. Just bear with me. Sometimes it takes a few extra hours or day because just a lot that's going on. But I definitely will get back to you, Alex. Another way. So we are going to be putting together another GoFundMe once Alex knows when he's going, and once Alex knows what exactly we need to get them, what aid. We'll put together a GoFundMe like last time, and with your help, we'll knock it out. And Alex will go there, and we'll get it done. So, for those of you who are asking, just bear, as soon as he's able to, and he's able to do it, we're gonna do that. The other way, in the meantime, like I always say, the biggest way you help is spread the message. Bring 3, 4 more people to our platforms. Subscribe to me. Subscribe to Alex. We are the voice from Ukraine. We're the only platform, guys, on there's a lot of little platforms, a lot of people talking about Ukraine here and there, but we are it. We are basically the voice from Ukraine right now, giving you exactly not only live updates, we're giving you live feeds, we're giving you information that no media is talking about and none of the pundits are even talking about. And we are growing thanks to you and every day, and we're also planning. We have some plans in mind because to help Ukraine in a bigger and better way. Because Ukraine right now is on the not only because of humanity and because it's close to my heart and close to obviously a lot of you out there, but it's also they're on the front line. They're defending right now because if Ukraine falls, Poland, the Baltics, it's all next, folks. All of this, optics is all a game. That's why this is so important. Just like I say here in the United States right now, Trump is trying to, put his motion into play with the agenda to reform election reform. Just ahead of that, I said make sure we do that and make sure that we fight him right now. Put it's the sand in the land because if he changes our election, it's over with. Same thing here. If he's takes Ukraine, it's over with. Next, so very importantly, for those of you that are new to the family, that are just subscriber, just joining, thank you. All your paid subscribers, all you people that contribute directly to Venmo at Lev Parnas. That keeps a voice from Ukraine going. And definitely all of you that's go buy the merch at loveremembers.com, the voice of from Ukraine, t-shirts and hats. A portion of that goes to helping our platform here, Voice from Ukraine. So all of this helps, and all of you are helping. And I want to thank, for me and Alex, say thank you for all your help from the people of Ukraine. Thank you for all your help. I know it's not a lot. It might not seem like huge amounts, but every little thing helps. And I just want each and every one to feel good about yourself for all the help you guys have been giving. So with that said, continue doing what you're doing now more than ever. Spread the message. Continue the contributions through Venmo at Lev-Parnas. Continue subscribing to me and Alex, becoming paid subscribers. A lot of great content for the paid subscribers. And, once we get the GoFundMe ready and Alex is ready to go, we'll give it to you guys. Alex, go ahead. I just wanted to give that announcement.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your help. But as bad as it's, as you know, everything is a two side story. As bad as it seems, yes, it is bad. It's not easy, especially when cities that they are not supposed to be part of the war become part of the war. This is it's supposed to be all on the battlefield. But nevertheless, Ukraine it has been a counteroffensive every night. Every night they hit the factories. Yesterday, the St. Pete, Moscow, and some other thing, airports were crippled. Over 20,000 flights were grounded.
Wow.
People, People weren't able to fly. They weren't able to do business. Just look at it. You can send 10 $500 drones in into the airspace of your enemy, and not a single plane can fly.
By the way, I'll just interrupt you for a second. I heard that Ukraine is now the number one drone maker, outperforming the United States. And the drones the United States makes for $100,000 a drone, Ukraine's making them, like you said, $500-600. They're making these drones for 500-600, and they're making 20,000 or something. I don't know what the number is a month, some crazy number, and that is like the new warfare. And please continue telling us, because guys, that's another thing you don't hear anywhere on the news, what Ukraine's doing. You might hear some or little bit and pieces of how Russia's fighting, but nobody ever tells you what Ukraine's doing. Tell us, Alex. This is great.
Well, what Ukraine is doing, basically, as you and I talked about a few weeks ago, that if before you could send a whole squadron and a lot of military to force. Right now, the more people you send, the more people will die, because right now it's all drone control, and Ukraine has these AI drones, and they are so precise that they can fly 600-700 miles easily into an enemy zone and hit it right in the target. Plus, I saw the news in Ukraine that pretty soon is not a single Shahed will be able to enter the skies, because the system they will be able to, missiles are different. But with Shahed, because look at it this way, if they send 500 Shaheds, the rep brings down about 60-70% of it. That's, I mean, they just disable them, and then the rest, of course, we get Star Wars. The rest get shut down. But a lot of these Shaheds, they send, they are not even, they don't even have targets. Remember, on one of the streams I said that the Shaheds look different because they don't just come in, they come close and then they fly away, then they come close. All they're doing is distract. So a lot of them don't even have targets anymore, because they cannot function on GPS, because that's impossible. So they find the different ways to get in. But nevertheless, Ukraine is signing a lot of deals with Europe, and even I believe there are some with U.S. companies as well for drone production, because Ukraine just doesn't have drones, just doesn't make drones. Ukraine has technologies. Ukraine has a lot of technologies, and those technologies, like I'll give you a little example. Which country in the world do you know that if you have a cell phone in your hand, you don't need to carry driver license or passport or your social security number. Everything's electronic, totally. Ukraine is the only country in the world that has electronic ID on the phone, and yeah, you can do everything with it. All your information is in. Even if you stop at a blog post, you show your phone, everything's in it. Because if you go in a GIA, that means it's 100% verified. This was launched before the war, but no other countries in the world has it. And the same thing, just like we have smart dogs that go in the battlefield. We have the drones that Russia's scared to even put a single ship in the sea, because as one of the generals said, we don't have any more ships. We don't have any ships in the Black Sea. And Budanov said, why don't you look underwater? Because that's where they all are. So they're afraid to put that. That's why, remember when they were talking about ceasefire, they want the ceasefire for the oil refineries and the Black Sea, because they don't stand a chance there. Because there are drones that are so. There is a lot of counteroffensive going on every day. Every day that they launch an attack, there's an attack going over there, and but we don't hit civilians. We hit the
That's
factories,
the difference. Yeah.
ammunition, they pepperoxides, they oil productions, whatever we can do to force them to come to the table and to start talking to stop this war. We don't have a purpose to kill people. We don't have a purpose to destroy them. Even though they gave us enough reason to do so. All the barbaric things that were done in Bucha, in Mariupol, in all the cities that they took. But nevertheless, our president still wants to talk to Russia, still wants to cease fire, still wants to stop this war. So, like I said before, that's the difference. Russia can stop anytime it wants. The only way we can stop is we have to win. We have to.
That's so you said that so perfectly, Alex. I agree with you. Russia can't stop whenever they want. You guys, I mean Ukraine, we have to win because we can't stop, and that's so sad to hear. When Trump goes up there and blames Ukraine or Zelensky for starting the war or continuing the war or talking about that both sides have to come to some sort of an agreement. It's so crazy to hear when he says that, when he goes there, because it's like as a Ukrainian, somebody that was born there, and as an American, I mean, I'm an American now, and to know to see that, it's just so disgusting to feel the way he's saying that, those words to not just Ukrainians but other countries all over the world, when he calls them names or intimidates them or uses that bully pulpit of his to do what he does. One of our Go ahead, Alex.
No, no. As because he only the only one thing makes sense. As you said, that he's over there to make noise while somebody behind his back do what they gotta do. That's the only thing that makes sense. That's the only thing because nothing makes sense. Nothing he does make sense. I mean, in reality, what's open, none of it makes sense. And it's like you said, it's all a game to confuse people while everybody looks on this hands, and you do what you got to do in this hand.
See,
Yes.
right now, he gave Putin everything he wanted, and this is a big move for Ukraine. And one of our subscribers, followers, and somebody that is everywhere there, Pegs. Shout out to Peg. She's there all the time. I see you. I hear you. She retweets. She follows. She's one of our very top loyal supporters. Asked the question, "What is Trump's end game?" And we have lots of questions, but I really want to answer hers because I think it's important. It's not Trump's end game. Trump doesn't really have an end game when it comes to Ukraine and Russia. Trump end game is here in the United States. That's what he's concentrating on. His alliance to Putin. It's what's Putin's end game in Ukraine, and his end game is he wants to take over Ukraine. But here's the little nuance that they're missing, and this is what me and Alex have been speaking about constantly to you guys and telling you, is that right now is we prepared you and we told you that this is going to come, that Trump is going to, remember we said that Trump is going to cut off the aid, Russia's going to do major attacks onto Ukraine. Ukraine has to withstand it right here and do a pushback. Because if they're able to withstand it and push back, this is where Trump and Putin might start finally. We might start seeing some headbutting, because I know Trump and I know Putin, and I know that Trump right now always wants to be on the winning side. That's very important to him. Witkoff sold him that Russia is the winning side. The way Putin got to him is that first they got to Witkoff, because see, you gotta understand, is this is the strategic, because people don't understand. Putin can't speak to Trump every day. And because how do you psychologically, just think about it, I'm going to give you something. How do you psychologically convince somebody something? You have to constantly get in front of his face, constantly get in his ear, constantly talk to him. Putin can't do that with Trump. None of Putin's what's it called ambassadors can do that. They have to have an appointment, and if they're lucky, they see Trump for 15, 20 minutes, a half an hour, and there's 30 people in the room taking notes. Now with Steve Witkoff, so what happens is they first go after, take Steve Witkoff, and they make sure that he passes the message. And the message is that Ukraine is weak, Russia's strong, Russia's going to win. Once Russia wins, we're gonna get all the oil deals and all the mineral deals. Because think about it, one of the places that Russia's hitting today is where the mineral deal was signed by. Nobody's even talking about it. Is that Ukraine and America and Trump have a mineral deal signed? Remember that? And this is where Russia's hitting now. How come Trump is not defending it? How come Trump? Remember, Trump said now nobody will dare now go after Ukraine in these spots where we have a mineral deal. So this is kind of a security. It was all a distraction. It was all the mineral deal was another ploy to try and get Zelensky to say no and try to blame Zelensky in Ukraine, saying, "Oh, you see, we wanted to do peace, we wanted to do a deal, but they're greedy, they don't want it." But Zelensky again bowed down and said, "Okay, we'll do the mineral deal. Okay, we'll do this. Okay, we'll do whatever you. Okay, we'll go meet in Turkey. Okay, no matter what they ask, Zelensky said, okay." So now they understood that that doesn't work. So now they're playing the long game. So now Trump basically is stopping from selling them military weapons, not giving them. See, this is another thing. He's not selling them. Zelensky got the money. They got the money. The EU, Europe is giving them the money, but Trump won't even sell them the weapons. Go ahead, Alex. Yeah,
He didn't just sell them. He turned the weapons around. They were in Poland.
that's
They were
crazy. I
already off
know.
this. They were already written off. If they are off the shelf and to Poland, that means they are already they're gone. Not only that, from my sources, there are weapons being made every day, and through the agreements that were done, but before Biden went out, the weapons are going to be produced by United States and delivered to Ukraine until 2028 under the agreements. Which was rectified and signed by Congress in your country, in
Yeah.
America.
No, I know.
So,
And
so he cannot, by stopping this, he's going against the whole. It's like shooting himself in the foot. Doesn't make sense.
and today at the press conference, they basically when they put pressure on Carolyn Levitt, the press secretary, to ask him what was going on, she basically tried to defer, saying it wasn't Trump, it wasn't Pete Hegseth, because then they blame Pete Hegseth. See, this is the crazy part. They want you to believe that all of a sudden Pete Hegseth woke up one morning and said, "You know what? I'm going to stop congressionally approved aid that's on the line of Poland that's being delivered to Ukraine." Not speak to Trump, not to do it. I'm going to do it all by myself. Really? Like, in what planet? On what? In what universe do you want us to believe that? So today, now she came out with saying that that there was the agency, certain agency looked into in the Department of the Pentagon, and they noticed that not just in Ukraine but all over the world, and noticed that we're running low on these missiles, and they decided to pull them back. You can't make this shit up. It's such well when the obvious and the real reason is what we told you, what we've been telling you is that Trump made a deal with Putin. Just think about how going back to 2018, 2019, when Trump sent me to Ukraine to sit down with Zelensky and tell them that they're not going to get no military aid, and that Vice President Pence is not going to show up at the inauguration if they don't announce an investigation. Just think about that for a second. I was no ambassador. I was not no national security advisor. I was what Steve Witkoff is now. And I'm telling you exactly how it is being done and how it is being done right now between Steve Witkoff, Donald Trump, and Vladimir Putin. And the crazy part back then, I was considered a big secret. You could nobody even knew until the whistleblower came out and gave my name up into Congress. That's the only way they found out, and the whole thing happened. But now they're doing it wide out in the open, completely. It's insane, Alex.
But but you see, when I said about the campaign, slow, slow, louder, 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 and now wide open. But I read a very interesting article, which is by the very close ally to Trump, the owner of several news agencies, including New York Post. And
Murdoch?
uh,
Murdoch?
yeah, it was a very interesting article, in which article they telling him to quickly change his mind and send the aid back to Ukraine and give Ukraine as much as possible, because if you weaken Ukraine, you weaken Washington. I mean, it was an article. It's like I've never seen it. And it was a New York Post against the president, against Trump.
Oh, dude, no. In America, we have just in his bill, and this is the disgusting part. His bill, mostly every congressman and senator was against the bill, and they still voted for it. The media talks about it, and Murdoch and the New York Post are writing that he doesn't care because the dangerous part, Alex, and that's why I keep talking about this, is like you right now with you're having a war in Ukraine. And we're having the same war, but not differently for the democracy because he's trying to change the way we're able to vote, how we vote, and that's basically taking away our freedom to pick who is leading and speaking in our behalf and making the rules. So and that is what and that counters towards who makes the rules to where the money goes to Ukraine and other countries. So this is right now what's happening, and that's why I say it's extremely important what's going on both in Ukraine, in the United States, in the Middle East. I know it's mind-boggling sometimes, and it spins your head to think about all of these things about going on all over the place, but this nightmare one, I know Maggie, another one of our supporters and loyal supporters. Shout out to Maggie. The only way this nightmare ends is when he's out of office, when Ukraine defeats Putin, when we bring back the reins, and it's not going to happen overnight, unfortunately. We have some work to do, and that's why I think it's a good time right now to mention to everybody. We have close to 700 people now, right now, that whoever is new to this platform, you make sure to subscribe. Make sure to go bring three, four more people to this platform that need to hear the truth. We need to keep spreading the voice. We need to keep building this movement. We need, because this is a resistance. This is the only platform on Substack or Twitter or anywhere out there that right now is actually giving you information about what's happening with the war in Ukraine. Not only giving you information, bringing you from inside Ukraine, but also between my contacts and Alex's contacts are giving you stuff that none of the media and nobody's reporting about. And that's the only way we could keep the pressure on the Congress. And we need to call your congressmen, your congresswomen, your senators. You need to write the letters. You need to put the pressure on them because just think about what happened. Congressman, a Republican congressman, Brian Fitzpatrick, when Trump held back, he wrote that letter. If for those of you that I'm not going to read the letter right now, but for those of you that haven't, make sure you go into my Substack and take a look at the letter that Brian Fitzpatrick wrote from Pennsylvania. Not only that, but he went and voted no against Trump's big beautiful bill, strictly because of what he did in Ukraine. So there's plenty of congressmen. It's Lindsey Graham, Trump's puppet. I mean, Lindsey Graham, that's out there, that is a disgusting human being, is pro Ukraine, hardcore against Russia. Majority of the country, majority of the Republicans, and most of the Democrats, everybody is for Ukraine. That is why it's extremely important right now to make your voices heard. Important for you to go out to call to when you protest to make sure to keep the reminding of people about what's going on in Ukraine, because right now their game plan is to take the media away, continue the bombardment, and slowly try to put Ukraine to submissive. Exactly, chokehold, 100%. So, guys, I want to, yeah, go ahead, Alex. Why don't you, I'll give you the last word, Alex. You finish up and then I'll finish up.
Well, Lev, you and I have been keeping close steps ever since you've been coming to Ukraine since 2000. I heard a lot of your opinions on this, and I read a lot about Trump, about what he does, how he is, and I believe, in my opinion, that the strength lies in Ukraine, because from what you say, and the way it looks, if Ukraine keeps on hitting Russia strategically and makes it weaker and weaker and weaker, and they're gonna start looking weak, I'm hoping that he switches sides, because he never follows the weak one. He always follows the strong one. So I am hoping, as the Ukraine, as I care about my country, about my people, and I want a freedom for everybody here. That's something wild is going to happen. That's going to make change this man mind, and do what's right for Ukraine, do what's right for humanity, do what's right for people. But I know you're going to tell me that if you don't have it, you don't have it. You probably got to be born with it. So, but you know what it is. The hope always dies last. So I'm hoping for some miracle, but by the look of it, everything you warn me and everybody else about is actually true. The quicksand is happening.
Well, I'll tell you, Alex, we do have hope and there is a brand. That's why I'm saying because there are cracks in his mega, what's it called, movement right now. Major cracks in the Republican Congress, in the Republic. Even though he got a lot of the bill passed, he got a lot of things done in the 6 months with Ukraine, but at a very major, big cost. The cost is that right now they're on the teeter of breaking apart between Elon Musk making a third, what's it called, party right now, the American Party, and between what's it called, what's happening in against him on social media now with the Epstein files. And there's a lot of things that are happening. So what I'm going to tell everybody is make sure today I'm doing a special Love Remembers at 8 p.m. Eastern where I'm going to come live and we're going to talk about the Epstein files. We're going to talk about Trump. We're going to talk about Putin. We're going to talk about Ukraine. We're going to talk about what his reform, election reform is here. So make sure that all of you, we have over 700 people here. Make sure you set your reminders for tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern. Make sure you go tell 2, 3 more people. Let's make sure we have over 5, 6, 7, 10,000 people at least on our live today to talk about because what we're going to talk about is very important about what Trump is really hiding behind and why they didn't release the Epstein files, why Elon Musk is now is so dangerous to Donald Trump. There's a lot going on behind the scenes. So for those of you that want to catch up, go read. I got the past several articles that I put out there. They're on. Definitely will catch you up to what's happening right now. For those of you that have been here, thank you. Thank you for the support. For those of you that haven't and are just joining, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you guys that can become paid subscribers. We're going to be doing also Q&A for paid subscribers tomorrow, sometime, and Friday. So this week we're going to have 2 Q&A for paid subscribers because we missed last week. And I'm going to try to do at least 1 or 2 story times with Lev this week. So we have a lot going on. So a lot to catch up on. A lot of it's happening, and also make sure your notifications on because I'm hearing from my sources there's some big things that are big news that we're about to break, but I can't break it just yet. So make sure as soon as I hear it, I will be breaking it here and letting you know before any of the media is talking about it. Alex, I love you. I want to say thank you for all you do. Make sure you're safe. Make sure but let us know as soon as you have your days planned and when you could get that trip, and we'll get that GoFundMe set up to make sure that we help those people in Kharkiv.
Thank you, love. Thank you.
You got it. Slava Ukraini.
Героям слава.
God bless you, everybody. Have a great day. See you at 8 o'clock East PM.